Welcome again to this month of mindfulness, and taking a little time today as we go with an attitude of focusing on the present time as we tangle a wee tile together. Zentangle uses 5 simple elemental strokes: a line, a dot, a curve, a double curve, and an orb. We've never talked about drawing the perfect circle. I always talk about an orb. The perfect circle, most of the time, is quite unobtainable. So just an orb is fine. It fits well with the acceptance of a thought that pops into your head when you're meditating. Accept your orb and let it go, just as it is. In Crescent Moon we used the C-curve. In Hollybough we used a line. In Pretomps we used an orb, and so this tangle uses 2 of those strokes today: the double curve, the S, and the O, the orb. If you want to get your tile and your pen, your pencil and your tortillon all ready together, we can start. This time I'm not going to draw a little section, a line that goes round the outside edge. I'm going to use my tile as my shape. However, if you're working inside a notebook, feel free to just draw a section and work within. And this one I'm just going to pop an orb somewhere near the middle of my tile. It may not be exactly the centre, it may well be in the centre, and that's just fine. I'm just going to position my tile this way, and I'm going to imagine that it's a clock face. So I have the 12, the 6, the 3 and the 9. And at the 12 I'm just going to draw a little orb. At the 6 I'm also just going to draw a little orb. And I have here 2 other points because I've got a hexagon on this side. So where that 2 would be on your clock face, pop a little orb. Where that 4 would be on your clock face, pop a little orb. If you're not working with a hexagon, that's fine. And in the same method, I'm just going to pop a little orb at the 10 and a little orb at the 8. So I now have 6 orbs going around and 1 in the middle. If you've got 7, that's fine too. If your clock face is a little wonky, that's fine too. Accept it as it is and just let it go. The other elemental stroke that we're going to use today is the S, the double curve. So I want to draw what I describe when I'm teaching as a lazy S. An S that just leaves the left-hand side of this top orb and heads down to join onto the right-hand side of the orb in the middle. And then I will rotate my tile and repeat the same stroke, taking my lazy S from around the left-hand side of this orb down to join the right-hand side of the orb in the middle, and rotate my tile and do it again. The same repetitive lazy S stroke that leaves the left-hand side of the orb at the top and joins on to the right-hand side of the orb in the middle, and rotate my tile. Doing this same repetitive stroke is very mindful. A deliberate stroke that just repeats itself over and over again. Perhaps if you're going slowly, you can do it in time to your breathing, until you rotate your tile and you find you're back where you started. And so I'm now going to switch it to join the orbs around the outside edge, and I'm going to use that same lazy S, leaving from the left-hand side of the orb and joining on to the right-hand side. Leaving the left-hand side of the orb and joining on to the right-hand side of the orb. Rotate your tile and join the next one. Rotate your tile and join the next one. Rotate your tile and join the next one, until you find you're back where you're beginning. If we've enjoyed that lazy S, perhaps you might want to do an aura to it. By this I mean just starting and stopping at the same point, but just going a little bit wider as you come round. The way that we have used this tangle together today is called blossoming a tangle. By that I mean that everything comes out of a centre point. If I was doing Cadent normally, it would look like this. It would look like a little grid. And I would join them up with that lazy S. But we've chosen to blossom the tangle, make it pop out from the middle. If you find that your orbs have got a little messy around here, that's okay. Just take your pen and just fill them in a little bit more. Sometimes you find when your pen is leaving and arriving at a same spot, your pen lines might just get a little bit messy as they go. So we'll use that mess by accepting them and just adding a little bit more mess, a little bit more drama. I tend to often leave a little bit of white just to give my little sparkle reflection inside that little black orb. You may choose to do the same echoing line around the outside edge if you like, or you can just choose to do a simple shading. I'm just going to add a little bit of graphite in from the centre here, just in these spots. Use my pencil to carefully make sure I'm popping the graphite exactly where I want it to be. Once I've popped a little bit of graphite down here, I might choose to put graphite inside that little area, but on the outside edge. Notice I'm just rotating the tile as I go, so I can do the same repetitive stroke with my graphite. Then I'm going to use my blending tool to slowly pull out the graphite. Pull it this way and pull it that way. Really enjoy the sensation of your blending tool just pulling the graphite out where you popped it and pushing it into the lovely texture of the paper or the card that you're working on. Once you've got lots of graphite onto your tortillon, you'll find that they blend really nicely. Often I think it's really beautiful to have a tortillon that's just had a bit of a life, but not too much life that it begins to unravel. And I might choose to pop a little orb of black inside the centre here as well. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And there is our blossoming cadent. If you haven't done your orb right in the middle, have a wee look. See if there's an up or a down as you rotate and appreciate the tile. Add your little chop. I might add some black to match my little orbs. And if you want to add any other decoration, you're certainly most welcome to do so. So these were my cadent tiles today, where I have taken a normal cadent and I have blossomed it. This one matching the 6 points of my hexagon handle. This one I was using every other loop in my little flower tile. I've used a little bit of drama, a little bit of solid shading to have fun with those today. So that is a very simple way of getting a little bit of focus with a blossoming cadent.